Hello guys, hope you all are doing well. So in today's session, we will do lab on PBF in Palo Alto. So basically, we will see how using PBF we can prefer the traffic to go over one specific route as compared to other. Okay. So this is our topology. Let me quickly walk through how it is set up. Um, so uh, here we have our firewall on which ETH1 and ETH2 are our egress interface with IP of 1.1.1.2 and 2.2.2.2. They are configured both in a outside zone, right? Then on the secondary IP, we have a default route pointing to secondary ISP, right? Then this is our LAN, complete LAN side, right? Then this part actually it is not of our interest as it depends on how you get the route. Like for example, in this case, our objective is from this LAN IP 192.168.10.100, we want to reach to 5.5.5.5. So now it's up to you guys how you want to get this 5.5 to appear on ISP1, which is primary router, and ISP2, which is our secondary ISP. So you can make your own uh, routing. You can use your own routing skills and appear that route on the both the ISPs, right? Our main concentration is towards how we can use policy based forwarding on Palo Alto firewall. So the aim is actually our primary ISP is going to be this guy, one that goes to 1.1.1.1, and secondary ISP is 2.2.2.2. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with the configuration and see how we go with this. Okay, so let me log into Palo Alto firewall. Fine. So first step that we need to do here is this is a like fresh firewall deployed, right? As you can see, I have one management interface configured here, which gives IP through DHCP to my management, right? And then through this management IP, it is connected to my host PC, and that's how I'm accessing this 192.168.128.129 IP address. So 129, yeah, this one. Okay, so the first step is to configure the security zones, right? So as we saw in our topology, we are going to have two zone. One is outside zone and second one is our inside zone. So let's go here and looks like okay. So looks like outside and inside. I do already have those zones created here, so that's fine. Like outside and inside, these two zones are already there. Fine. It needs to be a layer 3 actually. So when we go to create zone, we name it and type should be layer 3. Next, we have to configure our interfaces. So let's start with ETH1. So ETH1, we can see it's 1.1.1.2 with /30 of mask. So let's make it layer 3. We are virtual router will keep it default, the default that comes, we'll keep that only. Security zone, we will keep it in a outside zone, and IP address is 1.1.1.2 slash 30. Rest will all keep as a default. Then we have ETH2 that goes to ISP2, which is having IP 2.2.2.2. So make it layer 3 default zone, and security zone should be, again, it should be in a outside zone 2.2.2.2 slash 30. Okay. Then ETH3 is our LAN site where IP address is 192.168.10.1. So if we come here and make it, and we have to keep this in a inside zone, and IP address is 192.168.10.1 slash 24 mask. Okay, so this is how, like, we have our interfaces configured. ETH1 goes to ISP1, ETH2 goes to ISP2, and ETH3 is our LAN. Security zone, both are in outside, and inside one is the LAN side. Okay, now once that's done, we will configure our virtual router. So in virtual router, what we are going to do is this ISP2 is going to be our secondary. So we are going to give one default route pointing to secondary router. Okay, so it's going to be 0.0.0.2/0, and interface, it will be ETH2, and next hop IP address will be 2.2.2.1. Okay, so it's this guy. Default route we are saying go to 2.2.2.1. Right? So next thing what we are going to do is we are going to create a PBF rule where we will say that any traffic coming from the LAN side, right, send it to ISP primary router 1. But with that being said, we are saying any traffic coming, go this way. But in case if this guy goes down, we want traffic to go this way and like this. So that is what we want to achieve. Okay. So based off that, let's create a PBF rule. So we will go to policies, policy based forwarding, and let's say PBF1, right? So zone. So it should be the zone from where the traffic would be coming in. So it should be our inside zone. Source address and all will keep any. Destination also we are going to keep any, because not we are not going to do any specific here. Main thing is forwarding. Now what we want is we want ISP one guy to be a this guy we want as a primary, right? So we are going to route the traffic out to ETH1. Okay, and next hop address for that would be 1.1.1.1. Okay, so this will force the traffic to be routed through ISP1. Okay, now to take care of in case ISP router 1 fails, we have to create one profile. We'll name the profile as monitor 1. Okay, it will be a failover thing, and interval will keep 3 and threshold would be 5. Okay, and then we have to make this box checked which says disable this rule if the next hop monitor IP is unreachable. We will check this, and next hop we will monitor is 1.1.1.1, which is this IP, ISP primary IP. Okay, so this is how our PBF rule will look like. So let's review it again. So basically it says any traffic coming from LAN side, which is it comes in the inside zone, going to anywhere, forward it to primary ISP and monitor the primary ISP for the primary ISP interface IP, so that in case of failure we want it to use secondary ISP. Okay, so this is how policy based forwarding rule looks like. Next we have to create a NAT policy. So in NAT policy, what we have to do is we have to create a two NAT rule. Let's say NAT, okay, see NAT primary ISP, right? And in NAT primary ISP, what we will say is any traffic coming from inside zone going towards outside zone on destination interface ETH1, which is a primary IP address. Okay, for any service, translate it to dynamic IP and port. And in this case, we are going to use interface address. Interface address in this was ETH1-1, and it is going to be 1.1.1.2. So that in this case, it is going to do NAT for primary ISP address. Similarly, we have to create a NAT for secondary ISP. So what we will say here is any traffic coming from inside zone going towards outside zone, but now in this case as it is going to hit the interface on ETH2, that is where the ISP2 is terminated. We need to use ETH2 there. In the translation, we are going to do dynamic IP and port. Then based off interface address ETH2, we are going to do this translation. Okay, so this is how our rules will look. Both the NAT rules will look like. Okay, next we have to take care of security policy, wherein I want to keep it very simple. Allow all from any source to any destination, from any source to any destination, allow. Okay, so it's simple. We allowed everything just for our understanding purpose, lab purpose. That will allow access to everything. So let's do the commit. As it's doing commit, let me get access to the router on this guy, one router I am using here. So IP for this one is 192.168.10.100. Right. So our objective is basically to get reachability from 192.168.10.100 over to 5.5.5.5. Right. So before we do that, we need to log into the firewall and check one thing, that the PBF rule that we have created, is it work up or not. So for that we have to run the command show PBF rule all. Right, so this is the rule we created, PBF1, which says forward the traffic through ETH1 and the status it says is up. Okay, so that looks cool. Now let's do one thing. Now let's run ping to 5.5.5.5 and see how it goes. Okay, so we are able to reach. Now next thing we need to do is we need to check on the NAT policy. to see which NAT rule is getting hit. So what we can see here is at the moment, as we have used the PBF, right, to route the traffic through primary ISP, our NAT rule, first NAT rule is getting used. Okay. Now, next thing what we will do is we will shut down this interface from ISP1 primary side. Okay, and then we will run the ping test to 5.5.5. So what actually should happen is that guy should go like this and come also like this. Okay, so let's see how it goes. So what I'll do is let me log into this ISP primary router. Okay, it's this one, and ISP primary router. Yeah, it's this guy. So let me do show IP int brief. Okay, conft, it's eth0/0. Let's shut that down. Right. Next thing that we need to check is this PBF rule, what the status it says. Now we can see that the PBF rule now reporting that the interface is down. In other sense, this PBF rule that we have created, right, as we are monitoring it, it says disable this rule if the next hop is unreachable. So as a result, this rule it got disabled. Okay. Now from this LAN side, let's see if we are still able to ping 5.5.5, and this NAT rule ideally should hit now. So let's go there, and okay, yeah, cool. So it succeeded. Let's run this, and yeah, we can see that now this guy is, we can see that the NAT rule is hitting, and it is going through correctly through secondary ISP. Okay, so this is basically the PBF, using PBF, we can do the lab, and as per requirement we can make the use of PBF. So basically PBF, it takes the precedence over the routing table on the firewall. In a sense, the routes that we configure, in this case, uh, all the routes that we configured, all the routes which are there, we can say PBF takes precedence over that, and you can using that you can route the traffic through the using the PBF actually. Okay, so that's all for this. Thanks for your time. Have a good day. Bye. Okay guys, thank you for watching my videos. If you like my videos, please do subscribe and share. It gives me motivation to create more videos. Thanks for your time. You have a good day. Bye.